Well, ladies and gentlemen, it would seem as if the president of Mexico, El Presidente Claudia Sheinbaum, has just made herself look like an idiot again. You see, just yesterday afternoon, President Trump offered military assistance to Mexico in order to help them dismantle the cartel crisis that's been engulfing their country for decades now. But instead of accepting the help, instead of partnering with the United States to finally put an end to the cartels that are ruining both of our countries, Claudia Sheinbaum rejected President Trump's offer. You see, El Presidente Claudia Sheinbaum's response was, and I quote, "No, President Trump, our territory is inalienable. Our sovereignty is inalienable." So she says that she doesn't want U.S. troops on Mexican soil because she values Mexico's sovereignty. Now, that might sound like a strong and empowering statement to anyone who doesn't know better, but let's break all of this down. While Claudia Sheinbaum publicly refuses American military support, she says she still wants to collaborate with the United States, but only if both sides stay on their own side of the border. And so what does that collaboration look like? Well, apparently she wants President Trump to stop American guns from getting into Mexico. You see, she's actually trying to blame all of Mexico's violent gun crime on American guns. So let me get this straight. The cartels are butchering people in the streets down in Mexico. The fentanyl crisis is exploding. American families are losing children every day to the poison that's flooding across our border. And El Presidente Claudia Sheinbaum's response is to lecture President Trump about American gun control. Keep in mind, this is the same president who's literally incapable of controlling her own country. It's not Mexican sovereignty she's protecting the cartels. You see, if El Presidente Claudia Sheinbaum actually had control over her own country, then the cartels wouldn't be murdering civilians, kidnapping journalists, and moving billions of dollars worth of narcotics across the US border every single year. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's just be honest here. El Presidente Claudia Sheinbaum isn't the one that's in charge of Mexico. The cartels are. Now, President Trump has been pushing Sheinbaum to let the United States take the lead on this for weeks now. The two of them have had multiple calls discussing trade, immigration, and border security. But tensions spiked in mid-April when President Trump called on Mexico to either take serious action against the cartels or to move aside and let us handle the situation. And so instead of doing the right thing, instead of admitting that she's in way over her head, El Presidente Claudia Sheinbaum decided to play tough. But her version of tough is rather parroting Democrat progressive talking points about American guns causing violence down in Mexico. Now, folks, let's just say the obvious thing here. Guns don't just magically kill people. Cartels kill people. You could flood Switzerland right now with AR-15s and their homicide rate wouldn't move a bit. But in Mexico, where cartels have more power than the police, you get thousands of murders every single year because of who is holding the gun, not what kind of gun it is or where the gun was made. So for El Presidente Claudia Sheinbaum to stand there and blame the United States for the blood that's on her hands, it's not only dishonest, but it's also disgraceful. And you know what? Let's not forget, Mexico's refusal to crack down on cartel trafficking is what fuels our country's ongoing drug epidemic. You see, fentanyl doesn't just grow on the trees in Detroit, it's being smuggled in by the same cartels that Sheinbaum refuses to confront. And that makes her refusal to accept U.S. military support a direct threat to American national security. But now, folks, here's the good news. You see, President Trump isn't playing games here. He's made it very clear. If Mexico doesn't want to help us take care of the cartels, then we are going to take care of the problem ourselves. President Trump has already floated the idea of using drone strikes and targeted bombing campaigns to eliminate cartel targets inside of Mexico, whether Claudia Sheinbaum likes it or not. And if she won't cooperate, then President Trump has every single right to impose devastating trade tariffs until she wakes up and starts acting like a leader. And keep in mind, we've already designated all of the Mexican cartels as violent international terrorist organizations. So let's just say what everybody else is thinking here. Mexico is lucky that we haven't already gone in and leveled every single cartel compound from Tijuana to Veracruz. The only reason we haven't is because President Trump has shown a huge amount of restraint by giving the Mexican government a chance to work with us. But if they won't, then it's time to stop asking for permission. And so, folks, in my opinion, this is what America First looks like. We're not going to let a failing foreign government that doesn't even have control over its own country dictate whether or not we get to protect our own people. If Claudia Sheinbaum wants to cry about Mexican sovereignty while cartel leaders run her country into the ground, that is her problem. And folks, we are done letting her problem spill over the southern border into our country. Here's the truth. President Trump is putting American safety first. He's doing what no other president has had the guts to do. He's calling out the Mexican government's colossal failure. He's exposing their lies. And he's offering a real solution to the ongoing cartel crisis that's been plaguing both of our nations for decades. In my mind, it is absolutely insane that El Presidente Claudia Sheinbaum would reject President Trump's offer to help put an end to the cartels. As all of you know, for decades now, Mexico has pretty much been owned and operated by a band of violent paramilitary cartel organizations, which, by the way, we've also designated as terrorist groups. They effectively call all of the shots inside of the country and have almost complete and total control over the entire Mexican government, which I suppose is why El Presidente chose to reject President Trump's offer. Because in all likelihood, she's controlled by the cartels. So of course she would turn down President Trump's offer to help shut them down because she's actively working to protect them. And so this also explains why Mexico has been so reluctant for decades now to shut down their side of the border, because the open border is how the cartels make all of their money. In fact, during the Joe Biden era, the cartels saw record level profits. So ladies and gentlemen, here's my final message here. President Trump, do whatever you need to do because it is time to finally put America first. Now, folks, before we wrap up with today's video, I want to say real quick that I've actually gone ahead and made a community Facebook page where I'll be posting additional news and updates as it relates to all of this. So if you guys use Facebook, check out the pinned comment down below and give that page a follow. But everyone, that is going to be a wrap for today's video, so please go down below and drop a comment. Let me know what you think about all of this. Please like the video while you're down there. As I said earlier, please consider subscribing to the channel because it really does help a ton with my daily struggle here on YouTube. Thank you all very much for tuning in today, and of course, as always, stay safe.